All right, got another Turbro mini split install. Got a dual head unit. Gonna be putting on this building right here, on my neighbor's building here, and gonna try to keep things heated and cool, so he'll be able to work in here, do whatever kind of projects, or do anything in here without being super hot. Because these metal buildings get really hot during the summer, and here in North Carolina, that's what we have to deal with all the time, is the heat. Basically, we're going to be installing this unit and then doing some testing. So the biggest part of this video will probably be just the testing to see if this thing will be able to cool and heat this building, which it should be able to, because this should be the 12,000 BTU dual unit. So both heads should be 12,000 BTU. As you can see right here on the box, it's the Greenland GL M12, and I think this might be the 24,000 BTU unit. So we'll go in there and look on the box and verify all that information. So I think this building, I think it's about a 25 by 25 or 24 by 24 or something like that. And he insulated the thing already, so it should be easily cooled by this dual head unit. And what we'll try to do is trying to figure out exactly where we want to install the thing, but I'm guessing I'm gonna be putting the unit, right down at this end, the outdoor unit, and then run the heads maybe in the middle of this side, and then around the back, put one, so they're kind of coming from two different sides, and maybe that'll be able to keep it cool, because the lines are only 16 foot long unless you get extensions, and we're not going to be trying to do all that. So, if you're going up 5 or 6 feet from the unit, maybe you'll be able to get 7, 8, or 9 feet, depending on, how the bends are and everything, away from the unit. So put the unit right down here, run another maybe 6 or 7 feet over to be close to the middle of the building, and then run the other one the other way down the back, and maybe be the middle way, in the back. And that should be able to get pretty good coverage for this building, because it's not huge. So two 12,000 BTU units should definitely do it. And like always, Turbro, I'm sure they're going to give me a discount code whenever I'm posting this video. So I'll link all that below, and these units. And if you haven't seen the video on my other unit, go check that one out that I put on my shed. I think it's been working good, keeping that thing cool for sure. And it's very quiet. So basically I did a whole install video on that. This one, I may not do step by step, but what we're going to do is show the highlights of installing it. And then the testing is what's going to be the big thing, is showing it working. And that it can heat and cool your building, if that's what you're trying to do. If you have one of these little, metal buildings that you put in at your house, it'll definitely be able to keep it heated and cooled, and we're going to be able to show that. So as you may be able to see, we got a unit right here, outdoor unit, put it on some blocks, and pretty much put it in the center of the building. And the plan is going to go from the unit in the center and move over to about the middle of the building in the back, and have one unit blowing out that way. And then on the other side, the same thing in the middle, blowing out. So both will be on the same wall, both blowing towards the front, because they got 16-foot lines, just to make it easier to come from a unit. You got to go up 6 or 7 feet, maybe even 8 feet, getting used up from the unit to the outside, and then moving over, to where you have the head units. So let's go ahead and get these installed on the inside. All right, like I was talking about, we're going to be mounting, basically in the center on both sides of the back of the wall. So we got one on that side, then we're going to mount the other one to the other side over here. And we already got the unit taken out. And basically we got the electric wire. We're just running it from the back. I got other installation videos that show you everything, how to do this. But basically just working on the inside head unit now. Going to hook it up 1, 2, 3 in the ground. And then I'll bring you back. All right, as you see, it's got the unit sitting up on the side, open up the front, hooked up the electrical cables, 1, 2, 3 right there on the terminal. Get some more light on it, so you can actually see it a little better. And then the wire, of course, just runs to the back. So just ran it from the back to the front to put it in there, right here at the corner. Of course, this is going to go to the outdoor unit once we get it going through the wall. So that'll be the next step. Gonna drill the hole through the wall to the outside, then run all the lines through and put the unit up. All right, got both units up, as you can see. One on this side, one over there. Now we're gonna go to the outside, start making all the connections. And when we're done with that, we'll do all the electrical. All right, as you can see, we got both the lines coming through. Got one on this side, one over there. We're getting ready to bend them down and make all the connections. And then when we're done doing that, we'll run all the electrical and figure all that out. All right, as you can see, bent the first line down over here. You definitely need to be careful when you're bending these down. Get ready to bend the second one. And usually what I like to do is put my hand under the thing and then put my other hand on the top and kind of pull down till you get it kind of flush with the building. So you kind of see what we got there. Then you'll be able to connect the lines, and when you put the line set covers on, it'll be right next to the building. And I'm gonna pull that one in just a little bit more once I get the other lines connected. All right, what we're doing now is basically pulling the lines under vacuum. So I'm doing the 10 minutes pulling under. The pump is running. You may or may not be able to hear it. It's fairly quiet. I got that one from Harbor Freight. The one I was using from Vivor, it was leaking out the side. It seemed like the seal went out. I only used the thing one time, so I don't think I can recommend that one. But when you grab this Harbor Freight one, that's why it's the next day. And as you might be able to see, got the line sets going down, got them all connected, got them connected to the unit. You know, got the line set on this side, same thing, coming down. So of course, once I get all the leak check stuff done and release the refrigerant, be able to cover that stuff up with the line set covers. And then we made all the connections on the unit. You can see most of that in the last video, but as you can see, got my 2 electrical cables coming from each head that's on the inside because they got 2 heads. Got an electrical connection here, right there for your disconnect. And we got a disconnect breaker this time instead of the pull switch. And as you see, we got the service hooked up. You know, we got the cable hooked up to the service port, and that's what we're pulling the thing under vacuum with the vacuum pump. You know, as then, of course, reading the gauges over here. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on with this, see where the gauges go. So the gauges are definitely going down, looking better. So it's pulling under for sure. And I think we got about 3 or 4 more minutes before it's the 10-minute mark. But basically, we'll talk about what we did. I installed both the heads on the inside. You know, we drilled the holes to the building, ran the lines out, made the connection with the 16-foot extensions that come with this package. And like I said, hooked all the connections up out here with the electrical. I'll show you the electrical stuff on the inside here in a minute. And this unit, it's definitely a pretty good size. You can hook up 3 heads to it. And what we got is 2 heads. So I guess if you want to expand in the future, you could hook up another head. I'm not sure if that's just the way they're supposed to come or if it should come with just a dual head 2 units, but it's the one they sent. So I'm guessing it's right. But it's a 27,000 BTU unit, and we only have 2 12,000 BTU heads. So definitely seems like you can expand and add another one for a unit this size. Because I was thinking it was going to be 18,000 BTU, the unit that came with it. But, you know, hey, 27,000, definitely not an expert. But this stuff is DIY friendly. And then we'll talk about the torques real quick for some of those lines. If you got a 1/4 inch line, it's basically 13.3 to 14.7 pound-foot of torque. And if you got the 3/8 line, it's basically 22.2 to 25.8 foot-pounds. Basically, all that stuff's gonna be right here in the manual. So just follow the manual for all your torque specs for your lines. And it's gonna show you in here how to connect your low pressure lines and high pressure lines to your vacuum pump. You know, all that stuff is in the manual as well. And it basically has, you know, step-by-step guide. All right, I think our pressure looks right. Take a picture of that. So basically, you're gonna close the low pressure valve over here and then turn the pump off. So we got it closed. Now turn the pump off. Then we're gonna make sure, gonna wait 5 minutes and make sure the pressure does not change. So 5 minutes, we'll see it, make sure the pressure don't change, but I'm gonna read through the manual, make sure I'm not missing anything else. And then basically when your 5-minute leak check is done, basically what we're gonna do is open up your coolant on your lines for 3 seconds. So, you know, basically you got a cap right here on the end. You take this cap off, stick an Allen in here, and open it up for 3 seconds and then close it back. And then you'll be able to go check all the lines to see if you got any leaks with the refrigerant. You can use soapy water, or you can use a meter if you have one. I have a meter I'll be using. But like I said, the biggest thing with this video is not just the installs part, but we are installing it, but we're going to be doing the testing and see what this thing is kicking out and checking out the air, you know, that's going to be able to keep this building cool and how cold it gets. And this unit, compared to my last one, since it's a multi-head unit, you know, it is a pretty a big size unit, but still, you know, if you have to, you can move around with one person. I still recommend I had 2 people that move the thing around just to make it easier. And of course, it's going to be the inverter DC technology. So these things are going to be very, very efficient, just like my other unit. And this 27,000 BTU unit, you know, is rated for 1,000 to 2,000 square feet. So it's going to be perfectly fine for this size building. Definitely going to be able to keep this thing cool. You can probably keep it cool running one of the units, but you got 2, you know, hey, if it's getting really hot in the summer and you need to run both of them, you know, I don't think he has a ceiling insulated yet. So, you know, he's probably going to end up doing that since he's got these units to keep it cool when he's in there working now. And then that'll help the efficiency as well. But if not, you'll have 2 heads in there. It'll still be able to keep it cool, even without the ceiling being insulated. You know, that's just not recommended, of course. All right, moment of truth here. Got all the electrical stuff hooked up. 20 amp breaker. I'll go ahead and turn it on. Then we'll go over to the head units and see if they turn on and start checking the temperatures on them and see what we got. All right, let's go ahead and hit the breaker. Damn, I just heard the units turn on. It's always a good sign. Now, we got 2 remotes here. I'm not sure if one of them will control both, but we'll test it out and see what happens. Go ahead and turn one on. So one remote will control both of them. I just pointed it directly at it and both of them turned on. So we'll go ahead and try to get this thing to cool. And the thing does have an app. I forgot all about that. So mode, I think it's on cool already. So we'll go ahead and crank her on down. Got it down to 61. I'm gonna turn the fan. The turbo, do the same thing over here. 61 and fan. The turbo. And both of them are on and kicking out. Let's go around to the back and look at the unit to see what it's doing. I'll go get my temperature gun and we'll check the air to see what it is. And as you may be able to see right there, the fan is spinning and it is super quiet right now. I mean, it's definitely moving some air. And I can feel the air out here. You might be able to see the air moving on the grass or something. And I still got to bolt this unit down. We haven't did that yet, but hey, still got to clean up. Got to put the line set covers on and all that kind of stuff. But you want to make sure everything is working first. So let's go ahead and go back inside and check the temps, see what we got kicking out. All right, got them both running for a few minutes here. We're going to check the temperature, see what we got kicking out so far. Definitely feel some cold air coming out. And it's already down to 70 kicking out, 69, 68. So it's definitely going down already. It'll be cooling this building off. We still have the garage door wide open right now, but get ready to close it off, I guess. See what this unit's kicking out, 67, 66. So going down, only been running a couple minutes. So it'll be kicking out 50-some degree air here relatively shortly. I have them on turbo. Yes, these are turbo units. I have it on turbo, so they're both basically wide open as hard as they'll run. And you can see they're relatively quiet. You may be able to hear it a little bit, but I doubt it. Let me get right next to it. Maybe you can hear it. With my mic right here, maybe you could hear that. But definitely cooling off. There's fans in the air, definitely in the 60s. 67, 66. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is maybe close this garage door and see if this thing start cooling off the building some. I guess we could just take a temp of the wall or something. 81, that wall right now, 81. The floor is 77. And the ceiling, which is gonna be really hot, is not insulated yet, is 99. All right, this thing's probably been running about 15 minutes. Let's see what the temp is. It's definitely cooled off in the building in here. I don't have a thermometer just for the building, but you know, we can see what the temperature is get kicked out. It was in the 50s a little while ago when I checked. So it's 58 on the back. That might not be the air temp. That might be the temp of something that's actually in there. 57. You know, so 57 degrees is just transferring basically the heat out of here to the heat outside. You know, as the coolant circulating around, you know, the cool air's coming in here, the air's blowing over, blowing cool air inside, and then the hot air goes back out in the coolant because the coolant has got hotter because you know, the fan is blowing on it. Then the hot air will get blown off of the unit outside, and the air be blown out hot, and that's how it cools off. And let's check this side and see what it is. Probably about the same thing. 56, 57. So just as cool over there on that unit on that side. And with this size building, it shouldn't take much time. We can already tell a difference in here. You know, it already feels good, and it's, what time is it? It's 10:49 and the sun is out, and the ceiling is not insulated. So it would probably be really hot in here by now. At least that's what Eric's telling me. So feels definitely good in here to me.
That's good.
And if you're standing right in front of this thing, you can definitely feel that cold air kicking out. You know, we don't have the stuff moving right now. Like you can take this and put it at whatever level you want. So it's kind of going out straight. So if you want it going down to kind of blow down, this way you can swing the door and then stop it. All right, I might have to wait for this combine. He's over there cutting corn. But let's see when the temp is getting kicked out. 111 degrees. I'm gonna have to wait. All right, the combines and tractors finally moved over some. So we'll see what the areas get kicked out here. 106 degrees, 107 degrees. You know, so that's basically the heat that's getting transferred from inside the building to the outside, you know, through those coolant lines. You know, one way is going cool, it's blowing the cool air, it's warming the line up, the warm line's coming back over here, and then it's cooling the back off, you know, blowing that heat off the unit, off the lines, getting transferred to keep the building cool. Now, I had measured just a second ago and I got 111. So probably because the air in the building's getting cooler, so it's not as hot coming back. 108. So let's go ahead and we'll throw the line set cover that we got on the one. I'm gonna have to get another line set cover for the other side, but you know, it's not a big deal. It's gonna work without it. But it's always best to keep them covered up, keep them out of the sun and out of the weather. Got one of the line set covers on, and got another one over here I got to get a line set cover for. It's not installed yet. And we got this thing running wide open right now on turbo, wide open inside. Fans as loud as they'll go. And you see this unit is barely making any noise at all. I don't even know if you can hear it. I'll get right next to the unit. Let's see if you can hear it. You might be able to hear the wind blowing on the mic, but as you can see, I can talk right over it, basically standing right next to it, bent over. So the thing is extremely quiet, kicking out the hot air because it got the cool air going inside the building. And of course, if you're interested in one of these units, I have it linked up below. You know, if you want to get this unit or any other mini split, hey, mini splits are good units to have. They're way more efficient than your regular standard, you know, outdoor units that are on the market. Whole house, you know, type cooling, like a package unit or a big split unit. You know, these mini splits, you know, they kill them every time in efficiency and the cooling power. So let's go inside where it's a little cooler. Woo! Feels way better in this building than it does outside. And of course, we got both of them running wide open. Let me get both of them in the shot here so you can see. And so basically we did get the Wi-Fi app hooked up. So if you got questions about how to do that, basically you're gonna have to pair it with a remote. You're gonna have to hit this display button 6 times to get it to go into pairing mode and be pointed at the unit at the same time. Whenever it goes into pairing mode, you'll hear the head unit beep twice, and then you know it's in pairing mode, and you can go on the app and be able to add it, you know, And so if you got a multi-head unit like in here, another thing you're gonna have to do is add one of them at a time. So you add one, then you go add the other one, and it'll show up as like, you know, air conditioning unit 2 or something like that. But I'm guessing you can rename it if you want to. So of course, if you want to know more about the installation process, what you can do is go look at my other video where I did a full install, and you can go follow that one. Basically the same thing for this one, except you're gonna have 2 units. You know, you're gonna have to pull one set of lines under vacuum, then the other set of lines under vacuum. And then once you valve in the liquid side for a couple of seconds, you know, you'll be able to do a leak check, then valve it in fully, and then valve in the return side. Do not forget that. I did forget to open the return side initially. So, you know, if you want your stuff to work, open up both valves, the inlet and the exit for the unit. Feels so good here, I don't want to move now. And of course, it is feeling good in here right now. I don't even want to leave out, you know, because the air is feeling so good. We got it set down to 61. And I don't know what the exact temperature is in here, but it's definitely went down a lot since we turned the units on. I can definitely feel how cool it is. All right, back over here the next day, and the units are actually set to 69. They're not even on 61, so they've been on 69, and it is definitely feeling good in this building. So the units are definitely working. And basically, I got a little meter here so I can tell the temperature, a little digital thermometer, and it is saying right here where I'm standing, it is saying it's still going down, because I just walked from the outside at 75, but it's going down because it's going to take a minute for it to go all the way down. So while this is still going down, now it's on 74. While it's still going down, we'll use this to check what we got again. And I just checked a second ago, and some of this is in the 50s, of course, like it was yesterday, even when it set at 69, you know, 60, 57, just depending on what you're on inside the unit. You know, if you get on the actual, probably where the coils are, you know, it's in the 50s, 58. So still really cold air coming out. The unit's working good. Let's see what the top temperature is for the ceiling. Because like I said, it's not insulated yet. And right now it's 98 degrees up there on the ceiling because it's not insulated. And this unit is still keeping this building cool. You're walking from the outside, it feels good. Let's see what we got so far. Down to 72 on the digital thermometer. Only been in here a second, it still looks like it's going down. So can you do with 72 degrees in your workshop? I think you probably can if it's 100 degrees in there normally. You know, got the dual head 12K units and working good. As you can see right there, set to 69. Both units, 71.6 degrees, 71.7. So 71 degrees when the unit is set to 69, not even all the way down. If you had it set all the way down, it'd be even cooler in here. So if you're interested in one of these, of course, I have it linked up below, and I have a discount code as well. So you can go on their website and get the discount, and they'll probably send me an Amazon link and discount as well. And if you like this kind of video, hey, think about hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button, and thanks for watching.